On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
It's
So
not
you
gonna
said regular women are unhappy. Is that what you just said?
Yes, since this feminist movement has taken place.
Regular women.
But here's the thing, though, Tawana. Here's the thing.
Okay.
We're just now starting to see the ramifications of this whole feminist movement of independent women. We're starting to see a lot of women grow old by themselves, suffer by themselves, and die by themselves, and realize the mistakes that they've made as a result of subjecting
the men to women
to this whole narrative.
Isn't the men to women ratio like that's going to happen regardless because it's just not enough?
The problem with your argument is that you're talking about men to women, so you're talking about regular men. I don't align myself with regular men.
But most women have to align themselves with regular men because guess what? Everyone do not have access to these high earner, high value men.
But then at the same time, y'all not taking the men that more closely align with who you are. You saying I don't want him because he's a regular guy, even though he's an average guy, and that's the guy that you truly deserve. And you're saying I want him, and I'm gonna wait and settle for him, and I'll subject myself to whatever he says. But you don't fit the narrative of being able to even align yourself or get in the same room as that guy. That's the truth.
Just tuning in. Welcome to Lapeef, Let's Talk. We just finished up our first topic. And moving on to our next topic, which is polygamy. Polygamy, the practice or custom of having more than one wife or husband at the same time. The issue that I think that Derry Jackson had was that he wasn't upfront in the beginning of what he wanted when it came to the marriage. You know, what if he had that conversation and said, hey, it's not only going to be you. Mm-hmm. Maybe he did have that conversation. We don't know. But from the looks of it, it looks like he didn't have it. So I want to talk about polygamy. We lost Rhea. I know she specializes in a lot of the poly talk, and I wanted to have her in.
I was like, where did
she said she was having some issues. I'm going to still try to see if I can get her on the phone. And once you guys start speaking and see if she can kind of give her take on it. But let's talk about polygamy. Start with you, Courtney. What are your thoughts about that? About polygamy in general and how it relates to Derry Jackson?
I was kind of going back and forth with this. For me and my faith and my belief, I do not believe in polygamy. I do understand why people might see on how it will work. So on that part, I would say each his own. But for me, I totally disagree with it. I think for stability, financial, emotional, for your children, you need to be with one man and one wife. And that's point blank, period. And I come biblically when I speak about that. Now, it might work for some. I think I was looking at rates to see how, is the divorce rate higher or lower with polygamy from monogamy? And it's actually polygamy is higher. So it's not necessarily a thing where, if I have two wives or two husbands, then we're going to stick together. There's not going to be any cheating. It actually does the complete opposite. So I don't think it's a healthy lifestyle. I think it keeps open for other people to get into the relationship. Again, like I said, I stress about the children and what they will be looking like. So no, I'm not a fan. And I know a lot of people will say, well, polygamy was in the Bible. David did it. Esau did it. Jacob did it. And I'm like, just because it was in the Bible does not mean that God approved it. There's a thing called perfect will and permissive will. Back in the day, there was a reason why they were doing. Men were going to war. They couldn't take care of women. Well, their husbands would die in war. The women had no job, so they would either have to prostitute. There were some men that took care of those women. So that was, a particular reason why it happened back in the day. So obviously, no, I don't agree with it. One man and one woman. I do believe men have a particular nature about them. And that's a whole nother conversation. But no, I'm not a fan. And I don't think polygamy is something that we need to be looking for as a Black community.
Nick, what are your thoughts about polygamy? You for it?
Hell no. No, get that mess out of here. Listen.
Come on.
It's enough dealing with one of you niggas. I don't need two of you niggas. Okay. That's one.
What?
You know what I'm saying? And it's only one queen gonna ever be in my house, and that's gonna be me. You understand? Ain't no other queen gonna be floating around in my house, period. I don't see how that's a balance, and that's different. To me, I just feel, and I just feel like it puts it where it's never enough for that man. And it makes him want more. So now he got a harem full of women, and that he has convinced somehow needs him, almost like a pimp, that he just not selling because he rotating them. What benefit can anybody tell me that the women get from this? Nobody's ever been able to really tell me the benefit an actual woman get from sharing her mate
really?
with another woman. What benefit her, right? To be a sister wife, right?
So how is it any different from a guy being able to cheat and you sticking around in a relationship?
Yeah. What benefit? I never said that it was right, because I would never do it. I just said that I understood the principle behind it.
Right.
All the shit is stupid to
Right,
me.
but here's the thing. Though. Hold on, but if you understand the principle behind a woman sticking around a man that cheat, that's high value, then you understand the principle behind women sharing, right?
No, I don't.
No. Just because you don't.
Let's not confuse.
Just because you don't condone it or you don't subscribe to it, don't mean you don't understand the logic behind why women would do it, though, right?
Right. So because I said that I understand the logic of it, let's not take it and mean that because I understand the logic of it, that means that's my way of thinking of it. No. I understand the logic of it because of the conversation that we had to have. I had to set my own personal opinion to the side so I could understand what was happening, where he was coming from, what the whole situation was. But all of it is bullshit to me. It is just another excuse for a man to keep doing whatever the fuck that he wants to do and have a woman be complacent with that shit.
It's not true.
That's all it is when it comes to me.
You don't understand.
Because this is the thing.
Understand it.
Yeah.
Duh, I just said that. I understand.
No. I'm not saying you don't understand it. You don't understand.
No, but should she be playing her position just like the last?
Right. Like I understand the logistics.
Should she play her position just like the last?
You don't understand.
But it would still be a hell no for me. Even with understanding the logistics of it, it's still hell no for me. It's still hell no for me.
But this is not about what you feel personally, and see that's the difference between men and women.
But that's what you asked.
That's because you're not benefiting from it, Anton. It's because she's not benefiting from it. She's benefiting from it, and she will approve of it.
Right. That's what I asked. Hold on. I said, what's the benefit of it? Because let me tell you the benefit.
You got to be quiet in order to hear. You got to be quiet in order to hear what the benefit is. I can't explain it to you.
But if you're going to talk 3 minutes to tell me to be quiet so you can explain it, then you're missing the point. So go ahead. Explain.
But that's why you single. That's why you single. Because here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Explain it.
No.
You want to keep telling me why you need to explain it?
Because you don't.
More y'all, one at a time.
Baby. It don't matter.
You don't dictate the dynamics of the conversation. I do, because I'm the winner, right? I'm the prototypical dude that fit every single narrative and characteristic of what a high value man is. So the difference is that I don't feel the need to explain it to you at this point because you're unruly. I don't need to prove myself.
But they're still talking about it.
You still
talking.
You
don't feel like you need to explain it to me. You don't need to explain it to me while you're explaining to me. You explain that to me. You explaining it. You don't want to explain it to me, but you explaining it to me.
You know what the tripped out part about this?
So then move.
You know what the tripped out part about this, though?
You explaining it to me in a way, but what you're trying to do is because you believe that you're a high value man. You're trying to put me in my place.
We're gonna move on to Tawana and get her.
You can't really put me in my place. I don't even talk about a high value man.
We're gonna do this real quick.
Hold on.
I don't care about
we got time for it.
You're not gonna put me in my place.
Let me break up.
Come to me.
Tawana.
Come to me in the same way that you want me to come to you. You're not gonna disrespect me.
Nick.
That don't mean nothing to me.
Okay.
It's so funny because when this whole show first started off, you started off good, and the reason how you started off good is because you took how you felt out of the equation.
But he asked me how I felt
Why
about
you still
polygamy.
talking?
Because he asked me
Let
a
me
question.
finish and help you to understand something. And this is the problem with black women, is that they don't listen as much as they want to talk. Stop feeling the need to be right and listen so you can understand. Don't
Black
hear to
women?
respond,
Black,
hear
yeah,
to
instead
understand.
of just
So
women in
let me
general.
help you to understand something,
Black
because
women?
the thing that you're illustrating right now is the exact thing that's wrong with black
Sir,
women,
if you could get to
and
the
why
point,
men
what I'm
don't.
trying, I don't care what you got to say at this point, because you're trying to school me instead
I
of just
agree.
saying what you
All
got
right.
to say. You trying to school me because you're trying to be funny
Okay.
right now
All right, you
instead of
guys.
just saying what you
All
got
right.
to say.
All right.
You
Do
got
you
to
see
know
me?
the
Do
woman
you
that
see
All right,
me
we're gonna go
laughing?
to Tawana. We're gonna go to
You see me
Tawana.
laughing?
that you
Tawana.
talk.
Yes.
That
Yes.
smooth shit
Polygamy.
don't work with me.
Hold on, stop
So
saying
let's
Nick,
my
move
name.
it along.
You
we
can't
still got to
I
get the
don't
show
want to know
going.
it from you now.
Nick,
I don't want to know it from you now
Nick,
because of the way
Nick,
that you coming to me. So clearly,
Nick,
if I have an
No,
Nick.
attitude,
this is what
the
you
way
do.
you coming to me,
So
so I
this,
don't want to know it now.
this is what you do, though. This is what you should do, though. If you don't want to know, or you want to just talk and be the biggest voice on the platform, then why don't you go ahead and log off? Because I'm gonna be here, right? I'm gonna still be on the platform. Why don't you log off, and then you can talk at the wall, and they'll listen to you without responding? Because I'm not that guy. You're not gonna shut me up. You're not gonna shut me down. And the whole idea is, the thing that you're really illustrating right now is exactly why dudes don't mess with type of chicks like you. You are the problem. You
I
are the
have
problem.
niggas knocking down my door.
You the problem. Yeah, but what
baby.
type of dudes?
I
Any
got.
dude,
I don't listen. I don't
any
care
type
what
of dude can bust you
you
down.
are.
All
That's
right,
what
you
you
guys. I want to get Tawana's
Okay, so
take
so
on it.
you a
Anton.
bust down. What
No,
does that mean?
Anton.
Just
If you
because
keep talking, she gonna
listen,
keep talking. So
You
come on,
can't
let's.
but
We
she
still
don't
got
about
to
your
roll with the show.
understand
And
that.
because
We
of
still
your
got to move the show.
Understand that
supposed
just
to be
because you would
quiet.
jump,
Anton, she
just
probably
because
might
you
not
would
never
jump off
understand
don't
it.
mean
She
you
might not
done.
never.
But
She might
why
never get
come
it.
to me telling me about your status? That's where the part
They
came.
have
When you
different
telling
views.
me I'm a
Right.
high status
Different
man.
opinions.
I'm this. You
They
don't
have
gotta tell me that.
different views.
Nick.
You don't have
Yeah,
to tell
bust
me
down,
that
Nick.
you're a high value man. What was the purpose of that?
All right, Tawana.
Hey, audience,
Yes.
No, polygamy.
are y'all witnessing this?
No, polygamy.
Because
What are
I
your
want you to
thoughts?
see exactly what the presentation was in the
I
beginning,
don't want to talk.
but what the reality is now. This is the definition of a woman that comes in a nice package at first, but when you unravel it, you realize that you got a lump of coal in there. She
Hey,
not
Nick,
even
hold your
worth the
thought. Nick, hold your
conversation.
thought. Hold your thought. Nick, hold your
She
thought.
not
I want to
she
get
not worth the
Let's
Tawana's.
talk about
conversation.
let's
Yeah.
talk about polygamy.
No, polygamy. Go ahead, Tawana.
You know what? Because both Courtney and Nick made some interesting points about it. Polygamy, like you said, that's multiple wives, but really polyamorous is the popular relationship, because really in most places in America, you cannot marry your additional spouses, right? So you have this polyamorous relationship where everyone is aware of what's going on. And I think that to one of you guys' point, when people join those type of relationships for the wrong reasons. For instance, they join those types of relationships to fix problems in their current relationships, which oftentimes those problems never go away. And then, like Courtney said, divorce rates are going to be just as high, right? Because there's still going to be jealousy. There's still going to be all these other things that happen in polyamorous relationships that you still have to deal with, but now you have another person involved in the relationship that also is a part of your family now, a part of your circle. And a lot of them look at those relationships like this person is like a second mom to my children, or this person is another part of their family. So I feel that if you're going to be in an open relationship and you're going to share your man or your spouse, then why not be in a polyamorous relationship? At least it's honest. At least you know what's going on, and at least it's an open situation. Okay. Do I think that is the answer to, monogamy, or to people who are unfaithful in monogamous relationships? No. Do I think that people should do it as a result of that? No. I think that you really have to understand the lifestyle and everything that goes along with being a polygamist or a polyamorous. If you want to be a polygamist, you really have to move to Utah or states that they accept you to, marry multiple women. And to Nick's point, sometimes the women don't live in the same house. They have separate homes, and the man is just kind of he has his time with his one person and he has his time with the other person. So sometimes women, it is different types of polyamorous relationships. So if if you don't necessarily want the woman to be in your home, or you don't want to be sexually intimate with the woman, you really want her to have her own relationship with the man and you have your relationship, those things exist as well. So it's just so many different levels to that I'm not necessarily going to sit here and say that I'm against it. I will say that I choose, monogamy as my lifestyle, but I do think that if you're going to be in that relationship, why not know who the other partner is? Why not have an agreement where you guys are all on the same page, because then it's not infidelity. It's more of, if we go back to the last conversation, it's more of an agreement and you guys know what's going on and you are aware of the other one. You know what's going on. Not that jealousy won't exist, not that you won't have any other issues, but at least you are upfront. That's my take on it.
Can I ask Anton a question?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So
I want to warn you though, I choose violence for the rest of the show. Just in case. But go ahead.
Okay. So because you are, you said a high value man. So when you're in business meetings and you're with other men that are like-minded, financially, titled, and you meet their wives, is it not just one wife? And if it was multiple, would you feel the exact same way about him?
No, we wouldn't care, but it is one wife.
Mm-hmm.
But there's two different types of guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two different types of guys that marry, as far as high value is concerned. You're talking about one group of guys who their wife has been there since the inception, even prior to their success in a lot of instances. When you want to look at people like a Denzel Washington, right? Like his wife don't fit the prototypical ideal wife look, right? In a lot of instances, but she was there prior to his success. She's been riding with him for an extended period of time. Then you talk about men that are in a lot of instances self-made, right? These type of guys often have different types of options, but often regardless, they both grow to be in a certain type of space mentally, because even when you're talking about executives, you're not talking about very young guys. When you talk about high value men, you're talking about men that has been successful and has been able to sustain a level of success and surround himself with a certain group of guys for an extended period of time. And often at times they share similar views and they have a like mind. So often we run in the same circles, we surround ourselves with the same type of guys, and we move and we promote ourselves based off of what it is that we achieve, and we align ourselves with people of that same value. We don't even let certain people in our circles. So to answer your question, yeah, we do have wives, but in most instances, not all, but in a lot of instances, they play a specific type of role in what it is that we're trying to accomplish in day-to-day activities.
Did that answer your question, Courtney?
Thank you.
It did. I think I wanted you to expand on it, but I completely understand, because for me, and what I'm thinking is that, it's with a businessman, it looks better, business, a politician or whomever, when you have a particular wife and your kids, you have a nuclear family. And I don't see
marriage is a business transaction. It
correct.
literally is a business transaction that people are not taking that into consideration. But the thing that we need to emphasize, because we're getting caught up on terms, right? We're getting caught up on the idea of poly. But the whole idea is that women have been sharing the best of men for an extended period of time. Since the inception of women have always sought out the best of the best. And even in most instances, whether you want to label it poly, whether you want to label her a side chick, the whole idea of it is that those that have earned a certain status in life according to what it is that they achieved often have the best options and have multiple options. And you're talking about the top 3, the top 5, top 3, top 1% of men. You know how small of a pool that is, and you know how desirable of a guy that is, and how women are willing to sacrifice, and what it is that they're willing to give up that regular women isn't. Regular women are often unhappy. We see them on these shows every single day talking about what they want, but often are going to die alone or have to settle for somebody that's way below where it is that they feel like they deserve, because don't nobody deserve anything.
You
But
said
the whole
regular
idea
women
of it is
are
that
unhappy.
since the beginning of time, women have always subjected themselves to the best of the best, often in droves and in multiple numbers. It's
So
not
you
going
said
to
regular women are unhappy. Is that what you just said?
Yes, since this feminist movement has taken place.
Regular women
But
are
here's the thing,
unhappy.
though, Tawana. Here's the thing.
Okay.
We're just now starting to see the ramifications of this whole feminist movement of independent women. We're
Right.
starting to see a lot of women grow old by themselves, suffer by themselves, and die by themselves, and realize the mistakes that they've made as
But
a
isn't
result
that
of
like
subjecting
the men
themselves
to women
to this
ratio?
whole narrative.
Isn't the men to women ratio like that's going to happen regardless, because it's just
But
not
see,
enough?
the problem
I
with your
mean, like,
argument is that you're talking about men to women. So you're talking about regular men. I don't align myself with regular men.
but
I'm
most
talking
women
about the
have
best
to
of the
align
best.
themselves with regular men, because guess what? Everyone do not have access to these high earner, high value men.
But then at the
So
same
they-
time, y'all not taking the men that more closely align with who you are. You saying I don't want him because he's a regular guy, even though he's an average guy, and that's the guy that you truly deserve. And you're saying I want him, and I'm gonna wait and settle for him, and I'll subject myself
What some
to
women
whatever
do.
he says. But you don't fit the narrative of being able to even align yourself or get in the same room as that guy. That's the truth.
Shout out to Kevin Samuels, who's
Yeah, we see Kevin. Shout out,
yeah,
Kevin.
you say shout out Kevin.
Well, I agree with that. I think, I mean, Black women are not getting married. And they think an average man is them settling. So I totally agree with that. Do I think Black women are just happy because they're paying bills by themselves, having to do everything by themselves? No, that's not our nature. Women don't want to do these things by ourselves. But because we're searching or wanting a percent of a man that don't want the majority of us, and we think the regular guy working a 9 to 5 is settling, and we refuse it, I don't see how that's happy. I don't see how being older by yourself with your kids is a happy life. So no, I mean, I have to agree with Anton. I do not believe that majority of Black women out here are just living a life that they love and that they're happy. I think they like
that they rate those high value men, though.
And I also don't think that it's anything wrong with being single, because sometimes you have to
You're not meant to be single. That's not what you was created for.
What I'm saying is sometimes you have to sit yourself down to get yourself together before you can go back out there again. Like, because what it sounds like is you're saying to women, you need to settle for whatever you need to settle for, just so you can have a piece of man. As a woman who was married to a man, that's exactly what I did. So the passion and the stuff that I have of what I did, I took a man who put me in a situation that I didn't even know that was taking place with another woman. I rooted up everything behind stand with your man, an average man, still with him, did all of that, moved here in Kentucky so I could give him a better life, because he had a misdemeanor that when we were in Indiana gave him 5 years of that he couldn't work, he couldn't do anything, and it was me by myself doing everything. So I moved to another state so he could be good, just for him to be talking to hookers and stuff. You understand?
No, dude, I don't. You know what? I believe you have a point that women are not just waiting around for high value men. Women are actually in relationships with men who are just average earners. I don't.
But she also got
They're settling. It's a difference.
But this is the point, though.
They're settling because when they realize that they can't really get them.
You said that women were waiting around, or you guys implied that women are just waiting around, and that's why they're not getting married, and that's not true. Because women are dating these men. They're dating men who are average men. They're not marrying these men because men are not.
No, men are not marrying these women.
That's what I'm saying. Men are not seeing the incentive of being married in partnership, and a lot of men lose in marriages and relationships.
That's not true. No man loses.
It's
by
because of the
not
woman.
Getting
It's
married.
because of the woman.
It's not because of the woman, JR. What do you mean? Most women have children in their relationships. The children still have to be supported outside of their relationships. How is it because of the women? You have consciously made a decision to start a family. So I don't understand. Like,
well, why is it not the woman's fault that she's not married?
But so it's her fault she's not married because she won't accept anything.
Hold on, Courtney. Courtney
Like,
just asked Juan a question. Hold on, Nick.
no, I didn't hear the question. That's what I was
What was
saying.
the question, Courtney?
Women don't control if they get married. That's correct. It's the man. However, if men are telling you that they want to be married, then you have control on being marriageable. You have control on becoming the wife that a man wants to marry. And if you're not becoming that, they're not going to marry you. So yes, you do have control on if you're going to get married. You have to become a wife.
Yeah, well,
they're not becoming wives.
But it depends on the type of wife that you want to become. I'm not going to become a wife with a man who tells me that I'm going to screw around, but you'll be taken care of. Because you have to go what measures to you. Money doesn't measure to me. I don't care about your money.
Money is not about money.
I don't care. I just don't get that particular part of it. I understand if you want to date a certain type of man, right? You have to understand and you have to play with the certain type of man. You have to. I understand that absolutely 100%. But what I'm saying is that it's either the woman is miserable because she's single because she'd rather not settle, or she has to settle and take any old thing just to be married.
Why do you keep saying
because she won't be alone, I guess.
Right, so she won't be alone.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you not be the man that a man settles for?
Because
why are we degrading this man?
I don't want to share my husband. So if one of his things is that he wants to move around, then I don't want to be that type of wife. I don't want to be a wife to a man who wants to.
Majority of regular men, I say, and not to be disrespectful, but just the average man, because we are average women here on the show. They're not cheating. Majority men are not cheating, and women and men cheat at the same daggum rate. So we keep talking about these men are cheating and your man is cheating. Well, what was you doing? Were you cheating?
No, I've never cheated on a man in my life.
If we're doing it the same rate, I have to ask.
But I've never done that. I've never cheated before. What I'm saying is that the way that you're talking, I'm not talking about a high value. I would never put myself in a position. I don't want to date a high value man because I know that I am not equipped for that. I don't even want to date anyone that goes to that where I have to think that I'm going to have to share. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me have a thought that you are being faithful to me until it's exposed to me that it's not. Don't present that to me in the actual beginning. That's all that I am saying. That is not something that I would take from an answer. So if I have to be single, because that's an option from the person that I'm interested in. I'm talking about the person that I'm interested in. If that person says to me, hey, I love you, I want to be with you, but this is the terms that I have, I'm not accepting them terms to be a wife, is what I'm saying. That's what I would pass on him as a husband. Because that's not what I want to do.
I'm not talking about a high value man. What I'm talking about is just the regular man that works hard, loves his family. That's it. And what I'm saying is that they're not marrying us, and I'm saying us as a collective, as a Black woman, because we're not making ourselves ready to be married. That's why. And one of the reasons why is because we keep telling them that we are settling for them. How are we settling for them? And how are they not settling for you? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's settle. I'm like, these men are good.
My first point was that the women should date these active men. Like, I am all for women not having to be in a situation where they feel like they have to play a position in order to be happy, and they want access to this life that is, only a small percentage of men can guarantee. And even if you are dating that man, he may have 10 other women that he's sharing you with. So I am all for women dating men who have average salary in a lot of different variations and ranges, who are family men, who have morals, values that's outside of whatever high value men present themselves to. Because to me, it just sounds like a devastating
lot of work.
But I don't subscribe to that life. So
Right.
I don't want to encourage women to do that, because I like you and Nick made it very clear. I guess I don't understand the mindset of a woman who thinks like that. To me, it sounds like a woman who doesn't have any value in herself, a side chick type of mentality, in my opinion. But you guys have your opinion about what you
I
feel.
won't say she don't value herself.
Yeah, maybe she does value herself.
I won't say that, because it takes a special type of woman to live that lifestyle, baby.
It does.
You have to have a mentality to know, even if it's 5 or 6, you know, if you number 1, you're treated different than 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th. They don't treat them all.
Yeah, I understand that.
They have them. They have them in the order, and the queen bee knows she's the queen bee, right? She knows when she knows that, right? So that's what she takes, and then you have the other ones that know their position until their position either getting replaced.
I'm not gonna tell women
that has to walk through all of that.
I'm not gonna tell women to prepare for men that don't really even exist. That's
right.
like 10% of the population that you might never even encounter.